here. Of course, YouTube's got this screwed up again, and I can see all the comments right over my face. All right, let's see if we get screen here. And okay, here comes my. Oh, gee, here comes an ad first. How about that for fun? Okay, Jacob says 5x5 as I'm watching an eBay Motors ad in front of me here. Uh, so we'll see when this thing's done. Okay, there I am. All right, Jacob Undercover, Don Quest, Krista J, Johnny Finance, Lucky Dame, Lorna, Linda, George's Garden, Cole. All right, you guys can see me. Happy Halloween, guys. No costume. Sorry. I know some of you were expecting that, but I was busy today, so kind of fun. But yeah, been one of those interesting days. Ran off to the hardware store today and ran into one of y'all. It's always fun, here, turn around after getting some lumber ordered. And I hear pinball. Like, okay, change. Huh? Yeah, okay. And so we stood there and talked for 20 minutes and everything like that. It was kind of fun. So Ron had a good time. We'll see what we can get together. Uh, just real quick one, guys. Any of y'all that live in, say, New Tazewell or Sharps Chapel or Harrogate or somewhere close by, we were thinking of just getting together for coffee on a Saturday morning or something like that sometime. So if you're in the area and be interested in something like that, just shoot me an email so I can kind of figure that one out. We'll go from there. So, all right. Uh, yeah, that was the fun part of today. I did have a trick or treater for the first time ever being in this house. Of course, I had some 60-plus-year-old woman who decided to go trick or treating tonight. Mrs. Mountaintop Preps stopped by, trick or treat. It was hilarious. So throw bag M&Ms in her bag. It's just kind of fun. They're stopping by on the way home from work. So, but no, that was it. Yeah, interesting parts in what's going on today. A couple of them. If you saw, the Houthi rebels from Yemen have now declared war on Israel. So we kind of expected that would happen, that this war would expand. So we'll see how that one goes. You had the rumors all over the place again that Putin's dead again. We can't confirm that anywhere. Somebody asked about it here just before we started. But the rumors, I guess, have it that he's been dead for about 5 days, and for the last 2 months, it's been his body double that's been going wherever Putin needed to be. Which I find that hard to believe, because it was last week he was meeting with Xi Jinping. So I really doubt they're going to send a body double to go meet with the head of state. Who knows? So, but that was it. Yeah, I got a kick out of one of the comments. Some of you guys, I know the video I did at lunch today was not of interest to a lot of people, but I wanted to put that up because it was of interest to others. And I got a kick out of a couple of the comments. There's always the negative ones or whatever that somebody's going to say. And it's like, oh, gee, I wish I had your budget or something along those lines. It's disappointing to them that, I talk about stuff like that. Guys, we go soup to nuts on this channel. You know that, okay? From the brand new, I started prepping yesterday, to the I've been prepping since Kennedy was shot. Okay, we talk about stuff that could meet for everybody. I am well aware that every single one of us has a different income level, whatever. So I put out everything that's, watch it if you want. If it doesn't fit, don't watch it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Really, I don't care. But, that comment was kind of snide. And I was like, okay, you have no clue what Mrs. P and I did. I mean, our goal to put that together, you guys know, was 2.5 years of saving. What we did was we saved $100 a week, every week, for 2.5 years, and bought different pieces as it went. I mean, I'd love to be able to go write a check for $14,000. Okay, I have a budget too, okay? But as I said to one person, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I've had a successful career. I mean, you all know that Mrs. P and I run a business, okay? And I'm not going to be ashamed of the hard work that I do to earn a living. So, you know, just being there. I don't have to work for somebody else, but I still got to work. So, but yeah, sometimes I don't know. Maybe they're trolls. Who knows? But I always seem to piss somebody off. Deal with it. If you don't like it, little X. Real simple. Uh, so yeah, so that was about it. But yeah, the big things today were basically the Houthis and the Putin comment, and we'll see what happens from there. So, all right, so let us get into Mr. Furstone. Thank you for the super chat. Says thanks for the cost breakdown video on solar systems. I was interested in power options. That was the point. That was why I did that one, guys. It's real simple. So you can look and see if it is something you even want to take a look at. I've said a million times, there is no one size fits all. I mean, I think I told you guys when I reviewed one of the other generators here in the last few weeks, if you don't have any 240 volt needs, don't do this system. You don't need it. It's like I try to show as many options as I can so you can figure out which one's best for you. That's it. So, all right, let's get into Q&A. The fun part of everything. See what kind of great questions for Halloween we have tonight. As per normal, if you've got questions for me, please put it in all caps. It seems like most of you guys know that because there's a lot of questions coming through already, I can see. The only thing I do require is that everybody treat each other in here with respect, a little dignity, engage brain before putting mouth in gear. If you want to be an idiot, just show yourself to the door right now. Otherwise, I know the moderators would be more than happy to do it for you. So, all right, let us get to the top here as far as I can go at least. Guys, please remember also, there's, I don't even know what it was, 1,200 of you guys in here tonight, which is a small crowd. I kind of figured we would be on Halloween. So maybe I get to some more questions. But, I'm 15, 20 minutes behind. So if you're typing something now, I may not see it for 15 minutes. So just don't worry about it. I'll get to as many as I can. All right. Jeffrey, yes, I'm not sure I'm not dressed up as Grizzly Adams. Who was it? Oh, God, what was his name? I can't remember. Dan something. I can't remember his name. Played it. I remember watching that show as a kid. Let's see. Sally Hartley. Hi, Pinball. My husband took your advice. He's loading 12 magazines of 5.56 while watching. Good. Okay. Then I hope, at least that should cover, well, it should be 14 if it's the two of you. Okay. Standard loadout should be one loaded, 6 more on your body. So I think I've probably got 30 or 40 magazines loaded. And that's good. Let's see. HJS video. Who says that Putin's body double won't do a better job? Yeah. As again, all these liberals out there. Oh, you're a Putin sympathizer. Say that to anybody who's a conservative. It's like, gee, let me see if I got this straight. The whole Russia thing. Let's see. The one who was actually guilty of that was, Hillary. Yeah. You're not going to find a whole lot of people that are Putin fans. So, but again, we all know liberal la la land, living in a fantasy world. John Faramelli, wait, are you sure they're not talking about Biden? No, today is Joe Biden Day, okay? Because today he can get away walking around and acting like a corpse and nobody would actually know that it wasn't a Halloween costume. The Tile Man, how long will the batteries last on my setup? Go back and watch the video. I explained it all. Let's see. Mark Douglas, take off your Halloween take off your Halloween mask. There you go. Okay, Von Mousetrap. Mr. P, rumor is there's illegals coming across the border with hand IEDs. Oh, great. Let's disarm the law-abiding citizens. By the way, I owe us no explanation for your finances. True, I don't. But, I'm pretty much above board. You guys know basically where everything goes around here. Yeah, there was an interesting one, a couple of interesting stories. The first one of y'all sent me was a bus in Arkansas that just showed up and was parked at, I believe it was a state park. There had 60 illegals on it. And, people called the cops, and the cops are like, yeah, it's no big deal. Full of illegals, they don't belong here. Then I guess you got the story today about St. Louis, the mayor of St. Louis offering to the city of Chicago, hey, we'll take some of those illegals off your hands. Go ahead, bring them to us. So, yeah, if you live around St. Louis area, get ready. You're going to get more. But, yeah, I haven't heard anything about illegals coming in with IEDs, but that wouldn't be a good thing. Okay. And hopefully Border Patrol can stop them. Jen Relocated Texan, thank you for the super sticker. And Stephen Adams, thank you for the super chat. You say, what's the longevity of pasta stored in Mylar bags sealed? All right, give me a second. Let me look it up. I got to pull out my spreadsheet because I don't have this all committed to memory. It'll open. There we go. Where is it? Greens, vegetables, fruits and vegetables, legumes, 10 to 15 years. Oops. Did I get that wrong? Hang on. Now no, pasta, 20 to 30 years. So, yeah, you're good with that. No worries. Okay. And then Leo Miranda Castro, thank you for the super chat as well. Hi, Pinball. It's Halloween. What has been my scariest but funny moment? Ooh, there's an interesting question. In my life, the scariest moment was a guy chasing me down at like 11 o'clock at night. I was walking home from work in Pontiac, Michigan, and I was walking down Telegraph Road, and a guy was running after me, shooting at me. That was probably my scariest. There was nothing funny about that. Scariest but funny. If I'd say scariest and then funny looking at it in hindsight, it would have to be finding the dead body in the trunk when I was repoing cars. And then funny in hindsight going, yeah, because I opened the trunk, saw the body, closed the trunk, walked upstairs, told the dispatcher, here's the keys, I quit. That was it. You guys have heard that story. That's got to be, in hindsight, the scariest and the funniest at the same time. So, or not at the same time, but funniest after the fact. Okay. Moving on along here. Addicted to learning. What type of business do you run? I don't recognize the name, so I'm guessing you're relatively new. Mrs. P and I own a recruiting firm. So basically, we find IT personnel or engineers, clients that'll hire us, say they need a mechanical engineer or a software developer or something, and then we find that person and place the person in a job. So I did it as a career for firms for 14 years. Then I worked for Becton Dickinson for 4, recruiting engineers for them. And then Mrs. P and I decided that we were just going to do it on our own. So that's what I do in my free time. So, yeah. But the thing is this, it's like, It's not one of those, oh my God, I've got to punch a clock. If I got a client to work on, I'll work on the job. If I don't, it's just, so, but yeah. Royal Lioness, you should never apologize for hard work. I had to reinvent myself. You guys know that one. I mean, you guys, most of you know my story on, coming out of a divorce and bankruptcy and rebuilding a life after that. So, Heather Bray, what business? Thought I'm retired. I am retired. Okay. Like I said, that's not a 9 to 5. It's like, okay, if we've got a client that needs some help, we do something. That's about it. I mean, I pick my own hours. I do what I want. That's it. If I want to do nothing today, I do nothing today. If I want to make a couple of phone calls, I make a couple of phone calls. That's, yeah. It's, I don't know how you want to call it, semi-retired. I work from my house. I need a telephone and a computer. That's it, and if I've got a client to work on, I work on it. If I don't have anything to do, I'll do something else. Gigi's Garden. Appreciate the afternoon vid. Not there yet, but lots of good info to think about. Just saying. And like I said earlier, I mean, it takes time. And I mean, we put away $100 a week. And I mean, that meant, giving up other things that we wanted to do, or maybe eating something that was a little less expensive to come up with, save the $100. And, now we can buy the smart panel, or now we can buy the extra battery or whatever. And sure, we looked for sales, and I took advantage of sales with Wellbots and everything, just like you guys did. So, let's see. Mary B. Hi, Pinball. Was wondering, do you do anything to protect your generators from an EMP? I have the EMP shield hooked up to it. All I can say is I hope it works. And this is what I said before. I mean, you guys have heard me say a million times, Faraday bags, EMP shield, whatever it is. In theory, they work. We've never, in a lab it works, but we've never experienced somebody blowing up a nuclear weapon in the stratosphere and having an EMP. So in theory, it works. I hope it works. But what I will say, and I've said it to you guys many times too, right now, the way I look at it, I got a 50-50 chance it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if I don't have anything, I have a 0% chance it works. So that's the way I look at it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I'm FUBAR. Mount Top Front. Hey, now you meant 25-year-old trick-or-treating. Hey, I didn't say the number after 60. Always early. Question. First time to grow cabbage. Planted, I'm assuming that's September 14th. When does it make head? All I have are leaves. Okay, got to remember how a cabbage works. It's going to start with its leaves, and then leaves kind of stack on top of each other until it makes a head. Usually, and again, I'm guessing you are somewhere south of me where it's still warm enough to grow. Okay, we're supposed to get down to like 26 tonight. But you're usually looking with cabbage at least 45 days, which is where you are now. I don't know what type of cabbage you have. As long as you've still got leaves and the leaves look healthy, I'd let it keep going. Okay, as long as the temperature will hold, just let it keep going. Things are going to grow a little slower as it's cooler, but just let it keep going. You're okay. Half bubble off plum. With your system, can I run? Crap. Shot to the bottom. Right in the middle of reading the question. Now let's see if I can find it again. Oh, yep, I'm there. Okay. Can you run the breaker panel and smart panel at the same time, or is it one or the other? No, this is what the cool part about this is. I showed you that screenshot, okay? And that's on my phone. Well, like I said, I can have 10 different circuits. The well pump takes 2, the water heater takes 2, okay? I can turn on any of those circuits onto the battery. If I just want to turn on, let's say, for example, I just want to turn the living room lights on the battery. I can do that and leave the rest of the house on grid at the same time. Okay, no problem. So that was kind of how Mrs. P and I did the test, is I turned all the circuits that are connected on battery onto battery. The rest of the house, like these lights right above me, okay, these are not in my uh, battery backup. Okay, I got lights to my left, I got lights in front of me. I didn't need lights all over the place. But we had these on grid, so even though the kitchen lights would have been on battery, these right above me would have been on grid at the same time. So that's what's cool about that little app to it. I can switch back and forth. I can be halfway across the country and I can change, I can shut off the power to my house from that thing. Okay. So I can see, okay, we shut all the lights off in the house. Everything should be at zero, right? And all of a sudden it's like, I've got 184 watts pulling out of my bedroom. Somebody's in my house. So, yes, it's pretty cool that I can do that. Ken Harrison, pinball, what scares you the most? Heights. Yes, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6'8". I'm afraid of heights. I don't like airplanes. Don't bother me because I'm contained. But even going, I remember one time going up to the restaurant. It's either the Sears Tower or John Hancock Center. I don't remember. And I couldn't sit in a chair next to the window. Okay, I don't like that. Roller coasters, I don't like them. I'm not climbing on my roof. Okay, I'll climb on the soft pitch, but I've got almost like an A-frame house. I'm not getting up there, climbing up that. I'm afraid of heights. That scares me more than anything else. I mean, my biggest fear of the nightmare that'll wake you up. I always say if you die in your sleep, you'll die. My biggest fear is falling. So, so I said, you ain't ever catching me jumping out of an airplane. That's not happening. Miranda Babcock, what is my laundry washing plan for grid down? I've got a generator sitting right next to my washing machine that we've already tested that, and I can do 5 loads of wash on one charge of that generator. Drying will be Mother Nature, clothespins, and a clothesline. But washing machine, I'm gonna run it off one of my solar generators. We've already tested it. We know what the capacity or the capabilities are. Mimi's Abundant Life. How did I get the name Pinball Preparedness? I got the name Pinball by when I was in the Army driving a 113, an armored personnel carrier. And we were out at National Training Center for Fort Irwin, California. And me being, I think I was a Spec 4 by then. I don't know. It was either a PFC or a Spec 4, an E3 or an E4 at that point. And the tank commander, as we're flying at 35 miles an hour in a tracked vehicle through the desert, bouncing all over the place. And he screams over the radio at me. He goes, "Will you slow the F down?" He goes, "You're bouncing us around back here like a pinball." And so after that, the rest of the time we were at NTC, he called me Pinball the whole way. So that was it. Then obviously the preparedness part is what we do here. So that was kind of how it came about. I already answered that. Soapy Gal, does Mrs. P use an outdoor clothesline? She will in an SHTF event. Other than that, we're using dryer. Okay. Yeah. So, yes. Dan Haggerty. There we go. Okay. Yes, that was Grizzly Adams. I knew it was Dan something. I couldn't remember the last name. Let's see. Annie Goralchik. Probably pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I apologize. What are my thoughts on a Generac versus EcoFlow units? Okay, so and again, I'm going to qualify this. There is no one size fits all. Okay, and a few of you on comments in the video today said you got a Generac. Cool. A few of you said you don't. However, okay, this is my issue with the Generac because cost-wise, they're roughly the same to put both systems in. Now, a Generac can feasibly run everything in your house. Okay, you don't just have 10 circuits, you can run everything. It's a plus for the Generac. The downside for the Generac is what do you do if you can't get propane? Now, I've heard anywhere from a system will run, if you have a long-term power outage, I've heard anywhere from 3 days to 15 days that a Generac will work. Okay, and again, it depends on how much propane you've got. I got a 1,000-gallon propane tank in my backyard. Literally, it runs the stove. That's it. I mean, we were in the house for 4 years. We needed to put in, was it 150 gallons of propane? Okay, so we use 40 gallons of propane a year, but we topped it off anyway because I've got the backup heater, which is on propane, and when I replace the water heater, that'll go to propane, and we'll do that. But back to the question: what do you do when you can't get propane? If we have an SHTF event, the propane company is not coming out to fill you up. Okay, the sun's going to come up in the morning. Okay, now if we have nuclear winter, both of us are screwed. But that was my logic. The other thing is, many of you said, well, gee, what if it's a cloudy day for a week and you don't get any sun? That's why I've told you guys many times why I prefer EcoFlow, and now the other ones are catching up. But at the beginning, when I started putting all this together, the EcoFlow system, because it was the only one with the fast charge, where I could run my generator for an hour and get 11 hours of power. Run my gas generator for 1 hour to charge my solar generator and have 11 hours of power in it. So that was one of the things. Now I know Opus does. I believe Blue Eddy has come out with the fast charge. So that's they're becoming more common. But that was the reason why I went solar versus Generac, because as a prepper, we're always looking at backups to backups, and there's no way I can make a Generac system work if I don't have fuel. So, okay. Dan, why would they think frozen White Castles were a good idea? I think I ate White Castle once, maybe twice in my life, and it was probably in high school. And it was after I'm old enough to remember this, after a night where everybody went out drinking, and it's like, oh, we're hungry, so we grabbed White Castle. What is it? Crystals is what the down south the version is here of White Castle. I took Mrs. P to Crystal once a couple of years ago when we moved in here, and both of us are like, nope, never again. No, I mean, she loves hamburgers. She did not like Crystal. So yeah, the only thing I can think of White Castles are good for is, oh my God, I got to get some grease in me to offset the alcohol. That was it. And those days are well behind me too. So, Ham Fox, I'm Mr. Garvey from Little House on the Prairie. Good costume. There you go. I just need the hat. Okay, let's see. Live your life. What do I think about local traveling right now in the U.S.? Okay, first off, if I'm going anywhere, that my little friend is with me in my pocket. If there's a state that won't let me carry my little friend, I ain't going there. Let's put it that way. There is no way on God's green earth I would recommend anybody leave their house unarmed at this point, because there's way too many crazies out there. I mean, look at what happened in Lewiston, Maine. Okay. Look what's going on right now in the Middle East. Look at the college students. Look at cities going, was it Starbucks came out today and said they support Hamas? Okay. I mean, that's how nuts it is out there. And you have no idea, like the guy was telling you about yesterday, who was threatening everybody at Cornell. There were a couple of other stories of similar things the same way. You don't know when you're going to wind up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when you go, gee, the only thing I have in my pocket is a toothbrush, not the right thing to be carrying with you. Traveling, okay. Would I do any long distance traveling, especially with the holidays coming up? Depends on how you can get there. If you got to fly and you can't take your little friend with you, not that you shouldn't be, I won't say it's 100%, shouldn't be pretty safe in the airport. I'm certainly not going into a strange city even if I grew up there, it's different than when you left. And go, yeah, you know what? I'm just here on vacation. You're a target when you're a tourist. So, uh, yeah. Channel 23, when are we getting another Cooking with Mrs. Pinball video? When she decides she wants to get on camera again, which you have no idea how many times I've asked her, and she says, I don't want to. I don't. She's camera shy. And I keep trying. Maybe one day I'll catch her in a mood where she's like, yeah, you know what? I want to. But there's probably a bunch of you guys out there that are camera shy too that can sympathize with her. She just doesn't want to do it. So, Laura Story. Hi, Pinball. I appreciated your earlier video on your home energy setup. I recently purchased the Opus. Try this again. Take 3. I recently purchased the Opus Mega 3. I wanted to get some third-party solar panels, maybe from Renogy, or do I have recommendations? Okay. So if you are going to get portable panels, which I recommend people have portable panels, at least for the smaller, for the generators that are portable, guys, get portable panels, okay? Ones that you can take with you. The Mega 3 weighs what, 100 pounds, if I remember correctly, somewhere around there. That one's going to be a little difficult to move, okay? Now, unless you get 2 people and you can do it quick, but portable panels will work fine. Maybe that's the only option you have. I have mentioned it many times. There is a 120 watt panel made by 12C Van. It's TWELSEAVAN. They're 120 watt panel. I've got a few of them. They are far and away better than any of the EcoFlow panels, any of the Jackery panels, any of the other ones. They're far and away better. You can buy them on Amazon. The catch is with those, Amazon lists them for like $219 a piece. Give it a few days. I can't tell you how many times I have seen sales on those for between $139 and $159. Okay. They are better panels than anything else I've seen. It doesn't matter what generator you have because they've got all the different adapters. Most of them are now for MC4 connectors, but it's got all the different adapters for any of them. The stand that they sit on is more stable than anything else I've seen. Those are the ones I go for, and they're cheaper than everything. I can't speak for the Renogys. I've never tried them. But if you're asking for my recommendation for portable panels, the 12C Vans. If you are looking for rigid panels, the ones I just recently bought a few weeks ago were Canadian solar panels. They were 390, either 390 or 395 watt panels. I got them for like 42 cents a watt at Signature Solar. So, Canadian Solar is one of the best brands of solar panels on a budget too as well. So there you go. So hopefully that answers that question. Michael 517, where can you get a 40-foot power cord solar panel to the power station for the 1800 Opus? You're going to have to basically make it yourself, okay? And I can't tell you where. I don't remember. I've got them. I can look. Hang on. All right, so this is what you're asking about, okay? And it's been probably a year and a half since I bought these, okay? don't have panels up yet. We just got the system working. So I bought them at, damn, my eyes suck. A-Z, so like A to Z Industries is where I got the wire, and I bought it online. And these come in 50-foot spools here. So go look at A to Z Industries. Obviously, I have nothing to do with them. It's just where I bought the cable. And then I bought MC4 connectors to put on the ends of these. Then I can plug into the panels, and I can plug into the connector for the EcoFlow. So, but that's how you're going to do it for long panels. You're going to basically create your own wire. And there is, I don't know what gauge wire this is. I don't remember. It was specific for solar panels at distance. Okay. A Cushnet, is that a Yule Gibbons costume I'm wearing? Oh, you guys are just full of it tonight, aren't you? Okay. Andy Goralchuk says $3.79 a gallon in Southwest Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's crazy. I mean, I passed the station today. Here was $2.99. Yes, Dr. Pepper. Yeah, it's insane how different the gas prices are. Chris Bulldog, how many silver rounds do I have for the vampires and werewolves? Yeah, enough. Let's just leave it there. Some things are better left unsaid. Okay. A little bit of OPSEC. Fastball 2611. Pinball, do I freeze my flour or rice before I put them in Mylar bags? Absolutely. 3 days is my standard. The reason being is you don't want to find that you had any sort of bugs or even eggs, bug eggs that were in the flour or in the rice or whatever, and they hatch, and then you go open up that bag 5 years from now, and it's all nasty. Okay. And I will tell you, it was a couple of days ago, my buddy, okay, and Mrs. P being Snow White, okay, his dog was having upset stomach. And so Mrs. P is like, oh, you got to give him chicken and rice. And he was over here helping me with some stuff. So Mrs. P wanted to make the dog chicken and rice for him to take home with him. And of course, we didn't have any rice downstairs in the pantry. So we went and opened up one of the bags, and here's here's rice I bought in 2019. Here you go. It was fine, so not a big deal. But just open up a Mylar bag, go back, put another O2 absorber in it, seal the Mylar bag, let it do its thing. Denzel Lyons, have I heard a lot, or have I heard anything about illegals buying a lot of ammo? I've heard a couple of comments. I have not heard anything in the way of anything officially, but it's not like that's a news story or something. Now, unless you're in New York, I believe that's the only state that you gotta have a background check to buy ammo. There's really nothing illegal about illegals buying ammo. Okay, they're not going to be able to get the weapon to shoot it, but not like they're illegals. Okay, they're going to get it illegally. So it is. I mean, this is why I say your weapon is the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. Okay, period. Because you never know when you're going to need it. And the one time you don't take it is the one time you wish that you had it. Just Nano, what's my favorite candy bar? It's got to be a Heath bar, no question. I love toffee. So, yes, a Heath bar would be my favorite candy bar 10 times out of 10. The Tile Man. Not the number of days the batteries stay charged, the number of years they will stay good for. I discussed that in the video as well. The Delta Pros claim to be good for 3,500 cycles. Okay, so now if you think about that, that's using it from empty to full or 20% to full every day for 10 years. Okay, at 100%. And after that, then the capacity will start to drop down around 80%. They'll still work. It's not like, oh, it's 10 years, the battery's dead. Okay, it'll still charge. It just won't have as much capacity anymore. So, like I said in the video, is there a possibility I have to replace something in the future? Yeah, no question. Okay. Do I think in the next 10 years technology will get significantly better? Yeah. So, hopefully I can swap one out without needing an entire new system. But if something happens tomorrow, I'm covered. Even though I don't have my solar panels on the roof yet, I have my portable panels that I can haul these things outside, put them on the back porch, and charge them with. So, Laura's story, I think I already answered that one. The 12 C-Vans, where you said, do I have any recommendations on portable solar panels? Yep, get the 12 C-Vans, my personal. Heather Bray, oh my God, my dad worked for BD. Okay. So when did I start this? 2000, I was there from 2015 to 2000, the end, actually Valentine's Day of 2015 to New Year's Eve of 2018. So just about 4 years. And the offices I handled were Salt Lake City office, Baltimore, Broken Bow, Nebraska. That was always fun to try to find people who want to go to the middle of freaking nowhere. The Bay Area, California. Where else did I? Those were most of my work was either out of Salt Lake City or Baltimore. But yeah. Mizzou Farm Girl, do I plant cover crops in my gardens? We've had a lot of success when planting turnips, beets, radishes over the winter. I don't, because of how I do things. Okay. And again, this is how I do it. Doesn't mean it's the only way. It's gardening. Christ, there's a million ways to do things. But because I have still to build soil, build soil, build soil. Right now, my gardens are just covered in grass clippings. And as I get out and shred all these leaves, because they're all on the ground now, and I'll have to get out and mow again and shred all these leaves, I will put all those in the garden for those to mix with the grass clippings and compost over the winter. And then I'll mix all that into the soil. So eventually I will, but I still am working on building soil, even though I'm growing in it. I still need you guys have seen, my garden and the bricks, the soil's here and the top of the brick is here. I mean, so I got to fill all that with soil. Flintstone Girl, how and when to plant onion seeds, Zone 7B. Okay, the easiest way to plant onion seeds is just get yourself, one pot. I don't care if it's a coffee, the big coffee things that you get, it's about as round as this. Put your soil in there, throw a handful of seeds in there. The nice thing about onions is, and y'all know this when you cut the roots off, they have really thick roots. So you can plant them in a bunch, and then you can easily pick them apart to plant them singularly once they've grown. When to plant onions in Zone 7B, that you're going to have to look up because I don't live in Zone 7B. You are certainly looking at planting short day onions. I mean, no question, you are short day onions. I take that back, unless you are somewhere way up the coast. No, I know where you are. So yeah, you're definitely short day onions. Yeah, you're gonna have to look it up. I'm off the top of my head, I'm not sure. But just put all the seeds in one pot, water them, let them grow, and then when they're big enough that you ready to start working them, when they're big enough is basically when the stem is about the thickness of, say, a Q-tip or something like that. Then you can start teasing them apart. Virginian, can you still use flour and cornmeal that has weevils in it, or should it be thrown out? Absolutely throw that out. Again, remember in a SHTF situation too, your availability of medical care is going to be sparse. You don't take chances on anything. My prepper journey, my dad is 77 years old and he still works full time. There you go. Good for dad, And that's, that's probably part of the reason why he's 77 years old. It's kind of a one hand washes the other thing. He's still active. He hasn't given up on life. And so by him being active keeps him alive. Mr. Furstone, thank you for the super chat. Have I had any negative issues with the EcoFlow system? Support, errors, repairs? Oh, yeah. Okay. I will say, and even with my electrician, their instruction manual sucks. I mean, to install that smart panel. I mean, it's bad. And so the electrician installed this, master electrician, right? Who's done many solar setups for companies, for people, $1 million, multi-million dollar homes and stuff like that. He's never done an EcoFlow one. So he puts this thing in, does everything that needs to be, and he gets an error 106. What's an error 106? Oh, there isn't any error code manual. It's call customer service. Call customer service. Oh, error code 106 means it's wired wrong. Could you be a little more specific? No, we'll have to get you to an upgraded technical support. Can I talk to them? No, they're not on the phone. You have to email them. Oh, email. We'll be back with you in 2 to 3 days. As I've got the electrician right there, right? Because electricians just love to come back to your house all the time over and over and over again. Yeah. The service from EcoFlow was, to put it politely, pathetic. Okay. The product is great. The customer service sucks. But I haven't had anything in regards. The one issue that we had on a repair, there was one of the relays was bad, and they got me a new relay quickly. That was no big deal. But as for support, when you get an error code, you can't find out what the error code is, and their answer is you wired it wrong. I mean, you're working an electrical panel. Okay, everything is wires. Could you be a little more specific? Eventually, we got it figured out. Carolyn Smith's Food Forest and Homestead. You're also a content creator as a business, so you have 2 businesses. Yeah, tell me about it. Actually, I think I probably spend more time on YouTube than I do on the recruiting part of it, for the simple reason of, and you guys have heard me say this before, there's a lot more to YouTube than, hey, you record a video for 12 minutes and you're done for the day. I mean, a lot of you have sent me emails or made comments under videos, and going through all those and research you got to do and everything. It takes time. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I don't think of this as a job ever. I think of this as a community, and that's what I like. Beatrice Ann Baker, have I seen the gold backs from Alpine Gold? Got $200 and buying more. Interesting concept. I've made my case on why I don't think gold backs are a good idea. Just very simply, if you figure out how much gold is in a gold back, hundredths of an ounce or whatever it is, and then figure out how much you're actually paying per ounce for gold, you'll realize it's like, holy crap, I'm paying a 50%, I'm paying $3,000 an ounce for gold, and gold is $2,000 an ounce. That's why I'm not a fan of gold backs. Thomas Seaman, what concealed carry insurance do you have? I will be carrying as soon as I get my CCW. I use CCW Safe. There are a whole bunch of different ones out there. I know Colleen Noor talks about them, but the one I use is CCW Safe. It gives me $1 million legal coverage, $1 million liability. So that works for me. BD, how is my dog doing? Copper is doing well. Copper got a bath here about, what time is it? Almost 9 o'clock. Copper got a bath about 6 o'clock with that blue stuff I showed you one time. It seems to be helping. His hair has come back. He doesn't look like he's got mange anymore. He's still got the rash under his armpits. We've never been able to get rid of this. Nobody can figure it out, but at least his back looks better. So, Indiana Mom, what is yours and Mrs. P's favorite Halloween candy? Like I said, mine is probably Heath bars. I bet if I had to say hers, it'd probably be Snickers or Hershey's with almonds. One of the two. Those are chocolate. Oh, well, no, I take it back. Hers would probably be the God, what are they called? I can't think. The little ball. They're not Ghirardelli's, but there's the other. They're little balls, and she likes the milk chocolate ones. Crap, I can't think about it. But yeah, can't go wrong with Hershey's with almonds. That's good for her too. Okay, now I got to find where it was again. Bonnie Bethel, tell Mrs. P you don't have to show her just her hands and tell us what she's doing. Would love more ethnic cooking videos. That's the thing. There's not a whole lot. I mean, the ones that y'all know. I mean, y'all have heard of borscht. Y'all know stroganoff. You know, she's made a couple other ones, the fish soup, things like that. She's made those, but I mean, there's you know what she calls patties, okay? Which basically what I knew is big meatballs, okay? Basically, it's making a hamburger patty, and instead of flattening it down, it's just a big meatball. Uh, I mean, you really don't need to be, okay, you take some ground beef, you put in a few spices or whatever, you make a ball, you put it on a cooking sheet, and there it is. That's what, you put some ketchup on it and eat it that way. I mean, she doesn't get into the Gordon Ramsay European cooking or anything like that. So, but if she comes up with something, would certainly do it. Smoking Swamp Outdoors. Can I freeze my fruit peels to save for making vinegar? Absolutely. That's probably one of the best things to do with the peels, unless you want to throw them in a compost pile. Freeze them and use them when you can. I mean, any of this, I mean, even if you freeze them and you decide, hey, I don't want to make vinegar, a year from now you're cleaning out the freezer and go, I got orange peels in here, throw them in a compost pile. You can do something with pretty much anything organic. Rolling. Pamela B, anyone ever try Harbor Freight solar panels? I have not, though I have heard good things about them, which is kind of funny that, you think, okay. But I mean, again, I've got Chicago Electric, Harbor Freight's brand of power tools. I mean, my table saw, my chop saw, they work fine. I've had them for 4 or 5 years. I use them a lot. I haven't had to replace a blade in anything yet. I mean, so just because it's, if you're in construction, no. But if you're the Joe average do it yourself, hey, I got to build something, I mean, I used the thing to build 2 decks on my house. No problem. So, Barb Wells, get some readers. My eyes are, I can see here. I can see at 10 feet. I can't see from like 10 inches to 3 feet, and then I can't see worth a shit in the distance. So, I mean, I've got this really weird vision, which sucks because my vision used to be great. I mean, it's the thing. The I've got my phone in front of me, and here I can actually read the smaller print on my phone clearer than I can the larger print on my computer because the computer's closer to me. A question at what gauge wire is that? It looks like 100 gauge. I'm not sure. It doesn't have a label on it. I mean, it's all wrapped in plastic. I can't tell you. Yeah, it's not that big by any means. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what gauge wire it is. Yeah, it doesn't say. Vanessa Noon just looked up cords, extension cables with ends on eBay, about $1 a foot. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, for what I remember, I think, because I got 5 of these, and I think it cost me about $250. Hicka Homestead, do I live near Patera? I'm not quite sure where Patera lives. I have a general idea that she's west of Knoxville, somewhere around Farragut, which that is probably an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes from me. So depends on what you consider near. I don't live near much of anything. You know, it's like I said, it's 20, 25 minutes for me to get to the gas station. So, and 35 minutes to get to the grocery store or Walmart. Channel 23. I'm wearing the Tim at Tool Time costume. Yes. Oh, yes. Tim Allen. Yes, I know who that is. I am that old. Let's see. Channel 23, Mrs. P is wonderful. I had to put my dog on rice and chicken too for a brief time. Yes. I mean, my friend comes over and she cooks for the dog. So just, if you ever want to know why I call her Snow White, that's why. You know, I told you the story about her trying to save a chipmunk. So I think it's adorable. Ghostwalker Airsoft Tech. There's an ammo retailer that is holding back their ammo supply to drive prices up. Good luck. I mean, I don't care if it's Bass Pro Shops or whatever it is. There are so many gun stores and Walmarts and anything that you can buy ammo at. One store, even one big retailer, is not going to drive prices up. You know, all they're going to do is piss off customers. Okay. Royal Lioness, there you go. I was in a gun shop, questionable men there. I left. That's situational awareness. Trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, don't stick around. A Truck Campbell, favorite Czech candy. I don't remember what they were called. They were about the size of Jolly Ranchers, but they had like a soft center in them. It was a hard candy, but had a soft, sour center in it. I used to love the lemon and the lime ones. Ellie Gale, author. If I like Heath bars, I need to try Russell Stover's toffees. Trust me, there's not a toffee I want to. One of y'all sent me some cashew crunch a couple of weeks ago, where I was like, oh my God, was that good? You know, but it's like anything like that. That's me. Channel 23. Will I do another Christmas fundraiser? I love that y'all included the animals. Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We will be doing that the week before Thanksgiving. So the Saturday and the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we'll announce all that, get that together. And then what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, just so you guys understand. You know, the community board, okay, if you go to the channel's main page, you'll see a tab there that says community. A lot of you have found it, okay. I have the ability to put a survey up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys pick how we distribute the money this year. And we'll put up the food bank, the toys for the kids, and the animal shelter, and everybody pick one, and then we'll just go off the percentages, whatever we raised. Last year we raised a little better than 10 grand, I think it was. So let's say it's 60, 30, and 10. I'll put 6,000 for whatever, 3,000 for whatever, 1,000 forever for the last one, however you guys decide you want to do it. And I mean, if it's more to animals than it is to people, or more to kids than it is to food, that's fine. Okay. So however you guys want to do it, that's how we'll do it this year. Because last year I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of crapshoot this one. And it is 9 o'clock. Crap. Okay. So I'll do the original one shot, one kill. We'll end it out tonight. Happy Halloween. There you go. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the morning. Have a good Halloween. Have a safe one if you were going out anywhere. Stay out of trouble. Pinball out.